$1. Jesus.
Speaking of Jesus, apparently that makes me a bigot. Did you see that post, Geyer? I quoted the dictionary and told her what bigot actually meant, first and foremost. Uh, and then I said that Jesus is my guiding principles, and if
Oh,
you
I
don't
missed
like
this. Where is that? Where is that?
it, I reposted it on my stream, but I just thought it was funny. It's like, if that's what makes me a bigot, and then also, how in the irony of calling the one black candidate a bigot is just hilarious to me. It's like the little short white lady telling me I'm racist. It's like, oh, okay, Bobby.
Welcome to the show, man. That's how it goes. Yeah. Oh, we get called so many different things out here.
I had my feelings hurt since 8th grade when my grandfather made fun of me after busting my chin and having to take a photo still.
Wow. Tough
So
Coalition's in the house. Welcome to the. I'm gonna throw her a mic here. Respectable woman. I like this woman. She's a small business owner. It's awesome, dude. We'll get invited to speak.
What's up, Tough? Good to see you.
9 p.m. is a prime time on a Monday night, isn't it?
Hi, guys.
Hey, Chuck, how are you?
There she goes. All right.
Hello. Hi. Man, I'm just driving home right now. Thank you for what you said. That's really encouraging. It's nice to hear positive things. Thank you very much.
Got you.
I just got done installing. Wait, what am I doing? So I have a customer. I'm doing multiple things. I'm doing his branding and his signage. And we just got done with that. And now I'm doing his website. And it's my second website. And it's kind of cool having that power to do a website. I use Squarespace. It's pretty easy.
I was going to say, Tough, what do you use? Are you just vibe coding? Are you utilizing other tools or whatever? Okay.
Yeah, just Squarespace. So you create an account if you want to do it for other people, and they give you 2 months to create your customer's website like a designer, because I'm a designer, so they treat you like, okay, we're going to give you time to do this for free before your customer has to pay. And then you get about 3 months, and then they have to pay about $150 a year to have access to the website, for them to host it. And then you maintain it. You can charge a monthly fee to maintain it. But if you just want to do your own website, you just join for $150. You have a website. It's drag and drop. You have to buy
super cool.
And for $10, you buy a domain name. And they, it's easy if you just buy the domain name from them. And
that's super cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is cool. It's nothing fancy, but you can make it look fancy by creating your own JPEGs that you drop in there, like your own memes, your own artwork, and that's when it starts to look cool.
So what about?
Am I boring everybody? Sorry.
No, not at all. I've never used them before. Do they have a format where if let's say your customer wants to change something later on down the line, next month or whatever, is there a payment platform for that, or how does that work?
Well, my customer that I'm working with, he told me that he was paying another person $300 a month just to maintain his site. And he goes, and he didn't do anything. And I'm getting gas right now, so sorry, I'm gonna have to talk. But so like you just have to watch their ratings and make sure the links aren't broken, maintain new information. But I think that it's a little bit of a ripoff for companies to pay someone, but it's just for a service they don't know how to do. This is true. And you just log in and you just, just drag and drop, to change things, type things in. It's pretty easy.
User friendly.
Yeah, that's the magic. Oh, God. Sorry. Oh, that sound of a chopper. You don't hear that very often, do you?
No. and they're going to be outlawed here soon.
Really?
The way things are going. No, I'm just joking.
I love the sound of motorcycles.
I know. But I was wondering about that. I saw the races going on at the drag strips around Portland. I went into Les Schwab and they had this brochure because I do signs for Les Schwab. And they had a brochure of all the cool races going on. And I would looked at that and I'm like, oh, fun. And then I thought, wait a minute, is this stuff going to be outlawed?
I mean, if
Not if I win. There is no way we're outlawing motorsports if I win by
can we
election.
outlaw them in the middle of our streets, though, Matthias?
Oh, of course. It's like that's part of increasing public safety. There shouldn't be any street racing. Like, come on now. It's like that's common sense. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like we're not going to outlaw things running on gasoline if I can do it. Like, because it's like I absolutely love my motorcycle, and it's old enough that I get better gas mileage than most of these people anyway, so they can chill.
Hey, Matthias, I see you're an attorney. That is so cool to have attorneys on our side.
Oh, I am definitely on this side. So I am a practicing estate planning attorney now, but I moved to Oregon to get out of what I call the ambulance chasing circuit. So I did all the dirty litigation nobody really wants to touch. I worked for a judge who was rebuilding a private practice after losing the election. Yeah, actually, that's one of I have to say RIP. I actually lost this mentor this past week. So Eric Cross was my really good friend and mentor, and also was a ordained minister that became an attorney. So he kind of set me on the path of how I practice the law.
I've been told I'd be a terrible attorney.
I actually told Lauren today that you would make a great paralegal, so I would probably hire you.
What's a paralegal? I don't know. I don't know the definition.
Essentially, you do everything other than go into court for an attorney if they actually trust you and you're smart.
Got it.
So essentially, you get to hide under that attorney's license and do everything they don't have time to do.
Fair
so
enough.
if I teach you how to do everything that I don't have time to do, it's like we could be a whole problem for Portland.
I mean, I hide under these press credentials and do all the stuff that nobody else wants to do. So
Yeah, but if I give you coverage under my legal license, we can do all kinds of things.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there, and that's what I was hoping with these candidates for the governor election, man. That was that we had with the primaries. I was hoping we'd get one of them like Medina or Dudley in there who are kind of more on the grassroots level. I mean, I know Dudley. I wouldn't consider him too. I mean, he did it himself, but I mean, he also had Phil Knight give him $1 million. But I mean,
I
feel like
will say it's like Dudley was such a smart decision for Oregon at the time that I don't think that Oregon was prepared for it. Dudley, in my mind, was like Kasich when Trump was running. Like he made too much sense for people to want to listen to what he had to say.
David would have rocked it, man.
I mean, it's one of those. It's like we will never know what he would have done, But the thing to me, as you think about it, it's like, sure, Kasich would have been the safe play in that time frame, but like, goodness gracious, we now know what was happening under this, the seams of America with a Trump presidency. So you can't say that history doesn't, play itself out the way it's supposed to. But it's one of those. It's like that's kind of the kind of the scary / fun part of politics is like you got to connect with people, and then you've got to be consistent enough for them to actually buy what you're putting out.
The consistency is key, and that's hard in our line of work, man. I mean, because we're running for different I'm not running for nothing, but we're doing different things, but we're in the same era and the same line of work, and the consistency I think has been the number one thing. Go ahead, Freedom.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. My phone says it's reconnecting. So, yeah, I just say, hey, everybody. Hayden, good to see you in here. Yeah, I just got back from riding my motorcycle. So it was quite fun, except for I had a tail coming home. I told Geyer about that. So, dealing with a little cartel issue out here. So, yeah, I had a few follow me home. So, yeah, we got issues out here. But anyways, good to see you guys.
Thanks, Hammer. Yeah, the cartel issues.
Unfortunately, I've had to deal with cartel issues when I was in Vermont. So, long story short, I used to do a lot of kind of organic certifications for rural farms, and cartels were just plotting on these people's land and growing illegal dope. And we I was working for the ag clinic at the law school, and no one believed me when I got followed down off the mountain until we had an incident with the state troopers. But let's be safe out there, bud, because I will be praying for you.
Yeah, but just so everybody knows, I am not suicidal. So just put that out there. Yeah. They've been coming by my house harassing me, and I take care of an 86-year-old woman that she's, open exhaust, the whole 9 yards. And I happen to have been rolling around and I happen to spot the car. So yeah, I said my piece. So they followed me around for quite a while. They already know who I am in this neighborhood. So yeah, well, they knew where I live. Now I know where they live. So, we're kind of even on that. I'm not really afraid of it. So I'm just going to confront it. I'm kind of like most people. I live here and I'm not going to back down. The police ain't doing anything. So it is what it is.
I was going to ask
I could use the help out here doing some reporting.
How does the Washington County Police take care of everything out there, Freedom?
They suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They suck. They're just like Portland. Yeah, they stand down unless you're bleeding and from a major crime or something else. They're not showing up. So, yeah, you're on your own, man. Okay.
That's honestly what made me run for office here. Is like it's sad, and I got my first motorcycle stolen here, and talking to my wife, we kind of had that same realization. I was like, there's not a lot of people that are built for surviving in what they're making Portland out to be. It's like if you're a real one and you stand on 10 toes and know what's right and wrong, it's like people tell you you're stupid for standing up for everything, but it's or a bigot for literally, I'm sorry. It's like, I do not understand how me saying the name of Jesus makes me somehow a target for these people, but I will welcome it. It's like, but this place is absolutely insane. It's like this man is out here looking after his neighbors like you're supposed to, free, and you can't do what you're supposed to do as a good American. It's like this place is crazy.
Yeah, I got yelled at. I'll give the mic to Tough after this, but I got yelled at, not yelled at, but like reprimanded by people for saying, why would we have people go down and run security on a perimeter of a place that's being overtaken by groups of direct action militants? They're like, why can't you just let the police do it? Well, the police aren't gonna do it because why would you have the police come there and waste their time, right? Because all they're gonna do is trespass people
for it. The DSA's made sure of that. It's like literally I'm gonna beat this drum until November, but that enhanced safety initiative, we don't have the police based on the sheer demographics of the city have not adjusted since 1992. Like, that's absolutely insane. It's like instead of changing with the times, and as the population got larger, they're shrinking our police force and then pointing fingers when they can't do what they need to do.
Go ahead, Tough.
Hey guys, this is really important what you're discussing right now. I appreciate the topic. I wanted to ask Freedom how he knows it's the cartel. And the reason I ask is because a long time ago, when I worked for Aaron's Furniture Rental, I was the marketing director for that franchise. And part of the business for rent to own is you go and collect furniture. And when we opened a location on Lombard, you know, our collection guys have to run into crazy people who don't want their big screen repossessed, right? And our guys were tough. I mean, they hired felons, you know, like ex-convicts with the teardrop in the eye, and they didn't mind scuffles, right? But when we moved on the Lombard into the Lombard location, I did some research. I don't know why. It just came up. The 13th Street gang was associated with that area. And everyone got kind of weirded out by that. And that was in 2008. It was a long time ago. But I made a mental note of it thinking, oh boy, what's that going to become down the road? And here we are down the road. And I'm wondering, do you have any comment about that thought, like the 13th Street gang and all that?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple pictures of the graffiti of 13th Street or MS-13 as well. So yeah. And there was a Tren de Agua out here as well. So I was told by somebody in the neighborhood that I worked with as well. That was quite a while back. And now I'm getting confronted with them because, you know, I kind of stick up for what's going on around here. I mean, one of the only ones, that's why I was talking to Geyer. Everybody else is kind of afraid. They know what's going on. The cartel, there's check cashing places out here for just Hispanics and stuff like that, right? And they were actually, one of them was busted for shipping money straight to the cartel. That was one of the stories that was actually made the news, right in Hillsborough. So they are here, you know, and these people, the ones I got followed by, they could have been gang members, yeah, but they're linked to the cartel anyway. So it was about 3 younger ones, probably in mid to late 20s. So in a green BMW. So, you know, it is what it is. I pretty much am really good at this because I grew up in North Portland, and I dealt with the Crips and Bloods out there back then. So that's nothing new for me.
That's the Lombard area I'm referring to, right?
Yeah, well, kind of. Most of them hung out on Columbia, but or out that way. But yes, they frequented a lot of the bars and stuff on Lombard.
Yeah. Do you know the errands I'm talking about?
I'm pretty sure I do. Yes.
Yeah. Not that it matters, but you know, that's why it's nice to talk to people that are local. Like you can be like, yeah, I know the vibe of that area.
Oh, I totally know. Yeah, I dealt with them quite a bit out there. So gang members, they don't really threaten me. I don't know. I'm just kind of one of those people. I'm probably more afraid of not being able to pay my bills than I am some gang member. You know what I mean? That's
because you're an OG.
yeah, I'm an OG. So I stood up right in front of them.
The same stuff in Portland as I've literally told my wife this when I was riding TriMet here. It's like, this place scares me for organized crime. I lived in Atlanta. I worked in what was called Bankhead, which if you listen to rap music, you know, that's kind of the hot spot. This place is not prepared with our law enforcement for real organized crime. And apparently the cartel peeped that before everybody else did. That's one of the reasons why I'm running. Is like, this place makes absolutely zero sense. We've got money going to nonprofits that cartel and any other scammers can set up and get taxpayer funds.
Well, yeah, the gang task force in another space I learned and did some research on it, you know, to concur with what people are saying, was that the gang task force was eliminated with was it the defund police? It was Joanne Hardesty that did that. The freaking skank. She's a nasty person.
She says. Yeah, she was terrible. It was Hardesty. And got rid of the gang task force. I mean, we had an entire, and they weren't federalized, but we had an entire gang task force like sweep through the nation. I remember seeing them in Southern Colorado. They came through Portland, and that's why I've been trying to classify. Sorry, somebody sent me a text. Made me laugh. Yeah. I'm trying to classify, you know, Antifa not as only terrorist organizations, but
They're
a gang,
They're
bro.
a gang. It's like straight up. It's like Antifa is a gang, and let's treat them like a gang. Like Doji Free said, it's like I've got experience with these old school gangsters as well. It's like there's a way that you did business back in the day where you didn't run this, nonsense into regular communities. So until we can get to a point where I can sit down with the shot callers and set this city right, it's like I agree with you. Let's get a gang task force. I done made some friends with some sheriffs and some police officers. It's like they mess around and give me an inch, I'm gonna take a mile. It's like we're gonna make sure that we give them what they need, and we're gonna right this ship. It's like I swear. It's like handful guys, like we used to say back home.
I made a post about I'm coming to your city. So buckle up. And that's the truth. I'm coming to the surrounding counties, man. And when you talk about, these sheriffs, there's a sheriff down in Deschutes County. He's not the sheriff yet, but he's running for sheriff. He knows some things within the old police department down in Deschutes County, or the Deschutes County Sheriff's Department. He knows some things that happen between the city council members, the county clerk, the commissioner of Deschutes County, and he's running for sheriff. We know some things. We're going to go down there and interview him. I'm going to talk to the fire rescue people, the wildland firefighters. I got some dirt on Portland Fire Rescue. I mean, there's so much to uncover about Portland Fire Rescue, and it goes deep. 100%. It goes really deep, Matthias, and you know it.
The more I've searched, the more I realize there's just I'm just going to say a culture of corruption and bias against law enforcement
cartel.
Here. And to me, it's just like you're throwing money to organized crime as a nation.
Hey, say that again. Say organized crime again, Matthias.
Organized crime.
I love it.
It's like I'll say it with as many syllables I need for people to hear it, but it's crazy. Like, I mean, if you want to go, the corruption goes all the way to the top. I mean, last administration was giving duffel bags to the Taliban, thinking that's going to get them to act right. We got 20 years of history on what they're going to do with extra money. So it's like you can't just give money away and think that you're going to buy friends. Like, that's not how the world works. Like, you set you have good law and order, and regular people are able to make money. And they know what they usually do when they have extra: look after their neighbors. We don't need the government to do that for us. They don't ever do it. They just put it back in their pockets.
Bro, we are the neighbors. Go ahead, Sentinel. You say I saw your hand up for a second. Do you want to say something?
No, not really.
Okay.
But I was kind of curious on Freedom. You had mentioned, the gangs and stuff you're dealing with in the area. Do you know, in your region, are they actually bringing back like fentanyl, or is it more coke, or do you have hands on with what's going on with that?
Yeah, actually, I've got an app, and I sent it to Geyer. It's a crime radar, and I kind of keep an eye on this, right? And it's like in the neighborhood, and we got people passing out, being found, everywhere, all the time, in random areas. They're not really reporting it as a drug overdose or anything else, but we know what they are. I mean, it's like there's just no way. Some are being reported as drug overdoses, and just the other day, it's like in the middle of some cul-de-sac, right? There's two people passed out in their car, and they couldn't wake them up. So, yeah, it's a lot of fentanyl. I don't know about the coke or anything like that. I'm sure there's meth, but it's probably all of it, really, so I just don't know.
Yeah, I think it's humans.
But yeah, they're getting very, very bold out here, man. Very bold. Just because even, they just asked for more taxes out here from all the taxpayers to fund the police, right? And then it's like, I don't know, it's like crazy. They're not even down here. Oh, matter of fact, as I'm sitting here watching, the cop just rolled by. Yeah, that's the first one I've seen in about a week. So anyways, yeah, they put in a news station, a training center, and all kinds of new vehicles. but you can't get them to do anything unless it's a major crime. The city just built a whole brand new city building, and I mean, it's if you go in there, I mean, it's luxurious, man, and they got cameras everywhere. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I can't get anything done from the city. And when you go in there, they sit in there and brag about how nice it is. It's like, really? It's just crazy. They're just using it, they're squandering the money for a nice office building to live in, and stuff. It's crazy. So I told the cops out here, I mean, I said, we have neighborhood meetings or neighborhood get-togethers, right? These night outs and stuff like that. Well, the cops show up, and every time, because they do that, they'll drive around and show up to everybody's little deal. And I've talked to them every time. And I've talked to them when there's crashes out here on my road and stuff like that because of the speeding. But I told them flat out, if you guys can't do nothing, I will. Oh, you better not do that. And I said, well, then who's going to do it? Well, we're shorthanded. And I said, well, that's when I was a firefighter doing hazmat, we were shorthanded. We still had to do the damn job. I mean, you just can't leave the mess there. And so that's my deal. It's like, I can't believe it's even going on, excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one, right?
For you be killing me and my wife over here every time. I have to mute the mic just so I don't chuckle on everybody. But it's the truth. It's like that's kind of how I feel. It's like I haven't done any dangerous jobs like that. I just went to school with a bunch of liberals, but I feel the same way. It's like you got to just do what you can, given the circumstances, and if they're not going to fix it, it's like I was raised in a place where when I lived in Vermont, it's like we legitimately wouldn't get a state trooper if it was winter for hours. So that's how we took care of things. We got the constable once everything was handled. But if you're not gonna, I hate to say it, but that's always told my wife this is like this place feels like the Wild West. It's like it's on you and your family to take care of you, and you got to fight after the fact to even justify what you had to do to survive.
Domestic violence.
Oh, it's like just to put it on blast. It's like my wife literally like stopped a domestic violence incident on the main drag in our neighborhood, and it was 20 minutes before the police came up, and they're like, "Why'd you get involved?" She's like, "I didn't want that girl to get beat." Like that's crazy.
Or die.
Yeah, I had an incident in Portland just recently, and you know what's crazy, and I can talk about this now because there's this guy. His I don't know his name, but he was in the back of a cop car. I'll see if I can post that video in the pill, but he was being arrested, and the cop. I was like, "What's he being arrested for?" And he said he beat the living daylights out of his girl, and his girl's eyes are all swollen, her lips are all swollen. And he goes, but that's not like what we're arresting him for. I was like, wait, what? He goes, we found a bag. I was like, well, he's got like $300 in it. He goes, no, like way more. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they found a bunch of drugs on him. That dude came into the restaurant that I was in the next freaking day. Like, what?
Same thing happened with me and Lauren. Like, I kid you not, we caught like, her and my mother-in-law and this nice construction guy on his lunch break did a citizen's arrest. Got this guy arrested. The girl's swearing up and down she just fell, despite the fact that there's two separate camera views showing her getting her face beat in. We saw him he was pulling her by her hair down at least 4 blocks. And we saw her stealing 12 beers out of the cooler at Safeway 2 days later, and then saw both of them together the next day with a bunch of cans. It's like there is no law and order here. It's like you can do whatever you want. And literally, if you are a regular person, law-abiding citizen, you'll pay the consequences. But if you just go ahead and say, if you want to live on the streets, it's like they just act like you don't know no better. It's like you didn't choose to make a bad decision. Like I just don't understand that. Like you can be poor and not break the law. I've done it. It's like I've seen it done. It's possible. You just got to work 2 and 3 jobs and sleep in between them.
Oh yeah, I'm running. I'm hosting when there's dead space. I want to welcome to the space. Average Travis, again, one of my trusted mods across all socials. He's part of the Geyer. We call it the Geyer Ground Crew. I've got about a group of, oh shoot, how many of us? About five, 5 or 6, and we keep things going when it comes to circulating stories, checking things out. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, as you know, Geyer, I'm not a big speaker on the spaces or anything, but the more that I hear Matthias, like Portland doesn't need you. You need to come to Eastern Washington, buddy. Like the more you talk, the more I like you. Shoot me a follow, even though I don't have the stupid blue check mark next to me. But I was sitting here chuckling, and you're talking about the cops rolling through. Geyer knows that we live in two different worlds. I'm in Eastern Washington, town of 240 people. We're lucky to see a sheriff's deputy roll through here once a week. Usually it's on a Monday, so we all, be on our best behavior on Mondays. The rest of the week is all fun and games, but yeah, talking about you gotta take care of your own. That's pretty much how it is out here. I mean, if we need emergency services, we literally have 45 minutes before any first responder could make it out here, minus the fire department, of course. But
Yeah, that's
all I
how it
wanted to
was
say.
in Vermont for me. I went to law school in a small town called South Royalton, and Gary, you can make fun of that accent all you want to, but
What was
it
that?
was I want to South Royalton,
One more time.
South Royalton, Vermont.
Can you use it in a
Spell it
sentence?
real quick.
It's phonetically spelled. You can look it up. You can read. But we've got it was about 700 people in that city. I took over Windsor County pretty much the same way I plan over taking Multnomah County. Just good old fashioned country boy. It's like I grew up outside of Fort Benning, Georgia. So if you don't like what I'm saying, it's like I couldn't care less. My opinions were formed by men that thumped the Bible and then did the Lord's work, is how we called it. So uh, I'm a whole problem for Portland. But I will say this: my wife wants to move out to where you're at on the east side of the state, back where things make sense.
Praise the Lord.
She's literally kicking and screaming for me to try to change her hometown back into where I moved from, Columbus, Georgia. So where you wake up to the booms of tanks doing their rounds, where freedom is ringing.
Dang it, Hayden. Oh man, that's we got freedom. Go ahead, brother. Oh no, hold on. Let's go back with tough. Let's go back with tough.
I'm just thinking about what you guys are saying and about the drugs. I have a friend who used to struggle with meth and coke, weed, and he was in Longview, or he lives in Longview, and that's a pulp, whatever that's called, like a paper mill town. They struggle there, and so he's telling me these stories about the meth culture there and how evil it is. And he was saying that he just stumbled in there when he was young, like 1920, the skater guy. And he's like, "Hey, what's up? You got meth?" Well, he didn't know he was walking into satanic environments where they practice witchcraft. And when they're high, and this happened to him, demons come into their brains and say very evil things, and they see stuff. They see demons all around them. And it's blowing my mind hearing his stories. And I said, he'd say, "I saw this creature, this spider." I'm like, "Wait, is this a hallucination or is this real?" He goes, "I don't know. It feels real." And I had bruises on my body from what they did to me. And hearing this, it makes you realize that this is a definite battle of principalities that's coming into the United States. We all know this, right? But when you hear it happening to someone and their experience of it, it becomes more real. And he said that they were cooking meth in these homes that he would go into. So it's really scary when you get into the reality of what we're surrounded by. And you're right, the cops don't do much, but there are sheriffs. I have a few sheriff phone numbers where they said, send me your pictures of these Antifa people because we want to train on it. We want to see what you saw so we can use it in our training. I was really encouraged to hear that. Washington County Sheriff.
It's good to hear that Washington County's doing something. Send you pictures. Send you pictures for their training. Interesting. Huh.
Or video, you know, because I had a scene where freaking, I shouldn't cuss. I'm like almost cussing. I don't like to cuss, but when I get mad, I'll do it. But what's it called? King City Mayor. He ganged up on a bunch of seniors who were in a parking lot doing a little rally. And this King City Mayor ganged up on them with some Antifa looking chicks, yelling at him with the microphone, going, "You're not Christians." And I didn't know he was the mayor. I came up and I go, "What are you doing? You guys look like Antifa, and who are you?" And the cop was standing right there with the big fat belly. And I'm like, "Why are you letting these people intimidate these seniors?" And then the next day, my friend told me, "That's the mayor. That video, that dude is about to get recalled." And I sent the video to the city council. I said, "This is your mayor." And then he quit like 2 days later just because he was getting recalled for a real estate deal that nobody wanted, and they wanted to get rid of him. So he decided to go out with a bang and just harass some conservatives. I have it on my YouTube channel. So I called the sheriff and I said, "Did you know that some cop for King City is behaving this way, letting the mayor harass people? What do you think of that?" And he goes, "Hey, can you send me that video? I'd like to see that." So, you know, the sheriffs, they're supposed to be different than the police, right? Do you guys feel they are? Are the sheriffs at a higher level than the police?
Just depends on what county you're in. Travis, you out in your neck of the woods. Do you have do you got sheriffs? You got city police?
It's so crazy. Like, I can't even explain the difference. Like, when you guys are talking about, city police, like, we don't have any city police out here. Um, like I said, we get the sheriff that rolls out here, once a week. We do have a good relationship with them. But we're also a small enough town to where we take care of our own. Like, we're country folk out here. So when you talk about, like, a mayor being recalled, if we don't like our mayor out here, we let them know and they quit. So it's it's just, it's such a different world, and I enjoy, like, kind of reflecting back on the big city life, but I don't miss it, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I totally agree. It's good to come into the city every once in a while and get all the hustle and bustle and the mumbo jumbo. But living out in the country and having the peace and not having to deal with the voters inside the city, it's better for the soul. And it's something that's got to get done. At least on my side, man. I'm sick of living in the city. I'm sick of dealing with all this on a daily basis. It's loud, it's annoying, and I want to get back to feeding cattle. And I think that's the way it should go. So I'm happy that we can get back. Hopefully, get back to something like that. It's cool that in spaces like this, there's so many different people from all over the country, even the world too. Like that come from all different backgrounds. I mean, I've got people that live in the city here that grew up in the city their entire life, and then we've got country folk out here, people from the south, people from all over. But how do we, as because if you look at Portland, it's kind of like a mixing pot and extremely diverse. So how do we all come together? How do we get? I guess my real question is with the voting system. I guess is like we have the big cities that take up most of the vote. Therefore, the rural areas suffer. Does that happen over in your neck of the woods, Travis?
That happens everywhere thanks to gerrymandering, Geyer. That's kind of the dirty secret. Rural areas are usually they cover larger spaces of land but have less population. So generally, if cities are louder and more active, they are kind of overpowered, so to speak. That's why Portland speaks for Oregon, even though the vast majority outside of Portland doesn't agree with the Portland politics. Same thing happened with Atlanta. The rural areas of Atlanta are almost exclusively red. Atlanta is so blue, and we've got so many people from California there that Georgia's now a swing state. So it's one of those where the only way
Crazy.
to essentially stop your little pocket of Americana turning into a crazy blue city is one, pray for your country, your leaders to make sound decisions, and for your enemies to come to know my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and have a crisis of conscience to where they understand the errors of their ways. But most importantly, for what we can do ourselves is the regular people need to be involved. If you've got a city, a small town of less than 1,000 people, I guarantee you and your family connections, if you don't like what's going on, if you guys are active and you pay attention, we have more access to information than we ever have. And we've got independent journalists that let you know stuff that's coming down the pipeline faster than any time in history.
Faster than the mainstream news will get it out there.
Yeah, so you organize and then you go down there and you tell them absolutely not. And then the more people that understand the U.S. Constitution and the ways that our local governments, run afoul of our God-given rights, then you feel really bold going down there and saying no. So, it's unfortunately that's one of the patterns of American, political history. But now we have the tools to kind of even the scales of justice. So that's my 2 cents on it. But I can't do it without, essentially the same people that have been backing you guys. Like, you stand up and you say what's right, and then other people feel strong and bold doing that for themselves. And then we go right back to where we started. I will hand the mic to someone, and then I want to read a quote that's something that I've been rereading my pocket constitution. And I want to read something from George Washington. The power under the Constitution will always be in the people. It is entrusted for certain defined purposes and for a certain limited period to representatives of their own choosing. And whenever it is executed contrary to their interests or not agreeable to their wishes, their servants can and undoubtedly will be recalled. That's our first president.
One of the best. A badass, a true badass too. And knew exactly where America was headed. That's why they gave us kind of rules to follow and rights to go along with. And I'm very grateful that we had somebody stand up and take leadership in a movement that was now what we call our home. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you for
One more thing,
reading
sorry.
that quote.
So I've been reading a lot about how we're supposed to pray for our enemies. And I pray that Pam, whatever that woman's name that is coming for both of us.
He's just learning about Pam.
Hey, I sit in my own little corner and I mind my business. I read the Bible and the Constitution. I look after my neighbors and I feed my neighbors. You've gotten in on that. But I pray that this woman finds Jesus, that she stops holding on to this hatred, that she's consuming every crevice or valley in her spirit with hatred. So I pray in Jesus' mighty name that she learns that the only way to truly fill that hole in her heart is with him. That's it. Everybody else can talk now. Sorry.
We'll get to some hands real quick, but we do the stuff on here on the show, breaking news segments, and then we can talk about what's going on here. The first order of business. Hold on, we'll get some hands. If I got some hands up here in a second, Rocco, I'll get to you. I saw that I had Freedom's hand up in here too, but we got some breaking news, guys. The Oregon wildfires are exploding across our state, and we can even talk about that, and we can get into that fully. There was over 1 million acres have burned statewide, fueled by dry conditions and high winds. The Fox Fire forced a 70-mile closure of Interstate I-84 between Baker City and Ontario. That's on the eastern side of Oregon. The town of Huntington was placed under a level 3 go now evacuation order as the fire came in within 250 feet of homes. Additionally, the Bench and Beachcomb fires have merged on the Warm Springs Reservation, triggering further evacuations. Yeah, those reservation fires are terrible. There was a plea deal in Portland with the Border Patrol shooting. You guys remember that if you've been following along. Luis Nino Moncada, the Venezuelan man shot by federal immigration officer. And remember, Portland police officer, police chief Day cried over this. He said that it was for the state of his community. I beg to differ. And I've asked him 3 times about it, and he, still has given me that answer. So these gang members were shot by immigration officers while fleeing a traffic stop in Portland last January. They entered a plea deal today. Moncada pleaded guilty to a single felony, depredation of a federal property for totaling the government's rental car while trying to flee. He agreed not to fight deportation, but initial allegations regarding gang connections and assaulting a federal officer were not referenced in today's plea agreement. The Powerball jackpot hit $633 million. Tonight's Powerball has climbed to a massive $633 million, a $277.3 million cash option after nobody matched all the numbers over the weekend. So those are some breaking headlines happening across the United States and here in Oregon. So yeah, if anybody wants to get into those, talk about something that's going on, I'm going to hand some people some mics, grab some water real quick. We've got a couple people that joined in. Welcome to the space. This is the Geyer Space. Tinkerton, Jessica Kelly, Lucy Liu, and Spin City News. Spin City News, I threw you a mic. What's up, brother? How are you? And then Freedom Hammer, go ahead. You got your hand up.
What's up, brother, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? We can hear you, Spin. What's going on?
Oh, just sitting here working as normal. Rocco Bronco, good to see you. Travis, good to see you. Everybody else, hello.
Welcome to the space, Spin. Rocco joined in. Freedom, if you don't mind, can I give Rocco the mic real quick?
Yes, sir. You can give them all the mic first. I don't care.
All right, let's go. What's up, Rocco? Welcome to the space again, my friend.
Yeah, peace be with you, my brothers and sisters. May God bless you and all you love. Oregon, you guys got like legal recreational marijuana, right?
Yes, we do.
And you guys can like grow your own stuff, right?
Yes, we can.
So you might want to get out there and breathe in some of that smoke. You might get lucky. You know what I'm saying? Just a thought.
I can tell you about that, Rocco.
You can grow 4 if you got your landlord's permission or you own the property.
Yep. Hey, did you know that you could put that stuff in beef tallow? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of ways you can use the cannabis plant to improve your life. The founding fathers knew it, and somehow we outlawed it.
Rocco, I want to talk about these fires a little bit. To kind of go along with that, to the marijuana fields burning, I have a story about that. My brother and I, we put out hotspots behind water trucks, and I was up in the fires helping animals evacuate from ranches and farms and property. I mean, they just opened the gates and let their animals run. We'd go get them and then bring them down to the fairgrounds. I mean, we had a horse trailer. We got a call. There was like a 400-pound pig. This thing was massive, dude. And it was pissed off, and it was inside of this little shed, and we had to go get him, and the fire was coming. The fire was coming straight towards a marijuana field that was like completely enclosed. This was recreational grow. And I looked at these people and I said, is that thing going to go all up in flames? And he goes, yep. And I'm going to stand here until the fire hits me. So anyways, this pig, man, and it was smoky. We could barely breathe. It bit its owner like 3 times. So that's why he called us. He's like, I'm done. So we came in, we threw a tarp over this pig, wrapped the tarp over the pig, twisted it up and grabbed both ends of the tarp and put it in the trailer. Well, as we were doing that in the trailer, it bit the owner again. So the crazy stuff happening with fire. I mean, I've been in. I was down at this place called Elk Rock Island. Now, Elk Rock Island is just a little island outside of Portland. We got a couple of those on the Willamette River. I was fishing, and there was a kayaker coming up to me. He said, "Hey, take your headphones out. Look, look, look." And I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "There's flames behind you." And I said, "What? There's flames behind me?" I turn around, and the whole entire island's up in flames. I'm like, "Oh my God." So I start running, and we're trying to get. I couldn't get off of the island through the water. And so I tried to run around and go through the rocky area to the main land. As I'm running through here, I'm videotaping. So I have all this on video. And I get off the island, and I'm the only person on the island because I don't think anybody was really allowed to be on the. No, actually, I was the only person on the island. It was late at night. And so then I talked to the police and the investigator. And so as I'm showing the police officer this video, I look at it and I see the shadowy figure of a person running through, and I pause it. And I look at this video and I share it across the internet. This person had a gas tank in their hand and a torch. And they had a hood up, a black hood, and they were running through, and they lit the entire side of the island on fire. Nothing was ever done about that, ever. And that was Milwaukee Police Department. That was Clackamas County Fire Rescue. And they didn't find the person. I mean, there were still people on the island. So that person would have had to ditch their clothes, get on a boat, or swim across or something. But they had that entire island surrounded. So I don't know. We got people setting places on fire. I put something in the pill too that shows a map of a timeline of the smoke. And, they all start around the same time. I think God has some amazing powers, but I don't think he would do that to our beautiful country. And so I think it's people coming in trying to set our beautiful country on fire. And some of the most beautiful countryside is here in Oregon, Washington, Northern California, Western Idaho.
The Pacific Northwest is absolutely beautiful. That's why I set my anchor down here. I did just like a lot of the at least the native Oregon's ancestors did, as I came here and manifested my destiny.
You know
Travis
what I
put
would
something in
have?
the pill there too.
You know what I would have if I ever had a 400-pound pig that bit me 4 times? A 300-pound
Soggy
pig
drawers.
A 300-pound pig roast. That's what I'd have. Yes, sir.
I
Figure
was
it got to
thinking
be
that the
100
first
pounds
fight.
worth of guts. Well,
The first fight, big the pig, you already got a fire. It's like we're gonna have
you're
some.
right. You're right. But this pig bit that man 4 times, so I just said 4 times because that's how many times that man allowed himself to get bit. So I'm just saying we get him out of there for now, but we take him straight to the butcher. You figure there got to be at least 100 pounds worth of guts in a 400-pound pig, right? So I'd have me a 300-pound pig.
Butt on that pig. It's like I know how to roast that. We'd have a nice barbecue.
Guys are very lenient. After 2 out here, we slaughter the animals, just like chickens. If they don't lay for 3 days consecutive, they go on the pit boss.
Yeah, I felt the same way. It's one of those. It's like that's how you know these folks is from the city.
But have you guys ever drank raw milk? I'm kidding. Go ahead, Brianna. Welcome to the space.
I have dairy. I have friends that run dairy farms in Vermont, but it's like I could put you on.
Brianna, go ahead. Welcome to the space. This is the Geyer Space. Now, haven't seen you pop up before. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me in. Sounds like we may have passed each other at some point. I grew up in Lake Oswego, and we actually just moved away from Malala not too long ago. But was this recent, might I ask, the situation you had at Elk Rock?
This was, I think it was 2021.
Yeah, that's consistent with what I know as well. So during the 2020 quote unquote wildfires, I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll just share something really briefly with you about Governor Kate Brown. So I had documented at the time multiple arson, multiple reports all across Clackamas County. And we had friends that were up in the Malala corridor. They had chased off what they described were individuals in black bloc who had come onto their property, one of their pastures, and had started with a can of gasoline and a torch, set one of their hay fields on fire. We had multiple accounts like that and turned them over. For some reason, Kate Brown ended up turning everything over to the state police and allowed the state, or had the state police, take authority over the investigation. And the state police work for Kate Brown. I don't know if you're familiar with the whole like Lavoy Finnegan thing, the standoff. Anyways,
Yes, very familiar.
of course, yeah. So they found no evidence of arson, which is really interesting. There was something else though. I found through a FOIA request through the governor's office, a back and forth between Nick Blossier, her former chief of staff, and the Trump administration, the first Trump administration. Essentially, Kate Brown had held conflagration orders hostage in 2021 for about 3 days. She allowed Oregon to burn. In exchange for the Trump administration calming rumors of arson. So there had been a bunch of things swirling around online. Trump had made some comment, and she would not accept federal aid or put out conflagration orders until his administration agreed to quell the rumors that there were, arson attempts that were to blame or had anything to do with those 2020 fires. So anyways, when I heard you talking, I just thought I would share that little bit of information. That freedom of information request is still available. It's on the available through the governor's office. And it would have been about August of 2020. Anyways, I'm happy to share it if you're interested.
Yeah, no, I would love for you to share that. This is actually something that I have been covering since these fires happened, and everything that you said about, with the gas cans and torches lighting up the hayfield. I mean, that runs exactly along with what we were dealing with. I mean, we had people talking, not me specifically, but I know people who were talking to Clackamas County sheriffs, and there's a video that I'm trying to find that I have in my photo documents of the Clackamas County Sheriff saying this is a big deal. We have possible arsonists, and then there's a picture of a man on the ground with his face in the concrete, and he's being pushed, or his head's being pushed to the ground by a sheriff. And so they were going after these people. I mean, we were getting reports because we had people posted up at the end of driveways and the sides of up in Estacada. And they had guns, and they had their trucks, and they weren't leaving, and they were making sure they were doing checkpoints. And there's people that were caught, and it was never really talked about, and it was covered up.
The Oregonian called us hillbillies for cutting our own fire lines. I mean,
they did.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, Brianna, because you know exactly what went down. I know they called you hillbillies. I remember that. That's the Oregonian is one of the most corrupt, left-leaning, biased media propaganda. Excuse my French, but bullshit. I'm so tired of these media outlets thinking that they can run this town with their bullshit media. They lie to people, and that's why I make sure everything is fact checked 100% before I post something. And when I post something that I'm like, okay, I get the reassurance that it is. None of these media outlets, they're like, oh, let's just push it out, and even if it fits a narrative, and we'll cover it for when I'm wrong. And that's exactly what they did with these fires. And Kate Brown, she's in the pit of it.
Yeah, indeed. Well, and Tina Kotek, one of her lead staffers was arrested for rioting, and I don't know if looting, but I know for a fact that she came up on rioting charges.
Mm-hmm.
And Tina, I think she's still employed with Tina Kotek's office. So like there was no repercussions. Connor, oh, I forget his last name if you're familiar with Capitol staff, but he denied my press credentials during the pandemic when they closed everything and went into special session. They wouldn't allow any alternative media. They wouldn't allow any of us in the Capitol to cover anything. It's very authoritarian, and I would go as far as to call it classically fascist. In many ways, I mean, there's from selectionism to cronyism to protectionism. What has happened to Oregon is just it's heartbreaking.
I agree. I can't disagree with you here. That's Connor Radnovich, the communication specialist.
Brianna,
Yeah, that's
I
right.
would like
It is.
to
Yes.
about your history here. I'm running for office here, and literally what you guys describe is what I've seen as someone who's studied government and as a practicing attorney. This way that and wildfires blows my mind. I will tease something that I'm trying to push in the next few weeks. I want to try to steal some PSEF funds to actually do some wildfire prevention, because all we do here is reactionary. There's a
So
little
that
thing.
comes. Sorry to interrupt. Just very quickly. So that comes from a 2018 legislation that was passed through, signed into law by Kate Brown, and at the time we called it the Burn Baby Burn natural resource plan, essentially. And the ODF, the Oregon Department of Forestry and Wildlife, they basically just went along with it, and effectively what they did is they slashed the natural resource budget and decided that they were going to completely rely on federal, quote unquote, federal partners to cut fire lines and to do prevention. Only under the Biden administration, they allowed a tremendous amount of duff layer and tender to continue growing because of the quote unquote nitrogen oxide that it releases into into the ferment or what were they. But I mean, honestly, the policies are this, but it starts with things like the Elliott, for example. The state has taken lands held in trust out of productive use, and it's cost the state millions in revenue. And so they go to the taxpayer and specifically the homeowners to make up those costs. But what's not happening is that money is not going back to the natural resource budget. And so you should have prevention, you have consistent fires, and then they just chalk it up to climate change and wipe their hands and say, well, we're just going to rely on federal dollars. And it's not how the state is supposed to manage state lands held in trust. Those are there to be productive in order to revenue for natural resource schools. I'll stop.
No, it's one of those. It's like 100. I feel like we just need to have a conversation, and not bore everybody else. My background is in environmental law. The history of this place that I don't know, and to just kind of tell myself is fire remediation, trying to get small business funds, literally to do what I in law school. It's like we're not actually trying to prevent these problems from happening. We're literally, like you said, putting money funds and then pointing the finger at someone else. But we will be in contact. I don't want to steal Geyer's show, but that's my long-term goal, is to get real policies that actually fix problems here. I'm starting with Portland because that seems to be the burning heart of nonsense. But I am so encouraged to just continually meet people that are headed and realize that government is meant to serve people. That's it. If you're not doing that job, then we need to fix whatever policies that you guys think are working. But most of what I've realized in Oregon is like everybody other than those in power seem to have their head on straight. So we will be in contact. My brain really starts spinning when we start talking about protecting the environment the right way.
Cool. And who was speaking? Is that Matthew? Is that
in Portland?
okay? I'll friend you. Thank you so much, Garrett. This has been fantastic.
My name is Matthias, Mattias.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was saying, I was thinking the host for the wonderful space.
I'm just
Yes.
taking the time to plug my donation page. Don't mind the manners. We're running against the DA.
Hey, Matthias. Yeah, my hand's been up. I'm just going to go. Okay. For you to get some ammunition, I don't know if you know this, but when Joanne Hardesty was basically running our city, because of the weak mayor, you can see they're probably not online anymore, but they were recording their city council meetings when Joanne Hardesty was intimidating everybody in 2020 to defund the police. And the meetings were really weird, very dysfunctional. It was like a crazy family kissing up to her. And you can see how the mayor is afraid of her. So if you can go back and find those city council meetings when they were deciding to defund the police and during the riots, it was so crazy and stupid. And then she got in trouble for being needing help from the police because the Uber driver wouldn't give her a ride, and I think she was drinking, and a lot of embarrassing things happened at that time that you could use in running for city council. And the other thing I learned too is that they just hired a man from Texas to be the city manager or something, and the mayor hired him. Well, I don't know why he feels he needs to hire someone who lives, who did not live in Oregon, but his salary is $450,000 a year. I think that's extreme. And then
I agree as well. That's more than 4 times what I make a year as a practicing attorney.
Yeah, and then I met a man who was hired from Texas to be the construction, I don't know what it would be called, but heading all the construction of the city. I don't know what that's called, but he was telling me that he's from Texas as well. So I wonder what's the connection between Texas and our mayor hiring people from there? Does he not want people who know the dirt on Portland to be in charge of the city? Why would he bring in outside people? Okay, go ahead.
Send me all of that so I can break it down myself. I can't give you a good reason why you wouldn't hire within your state, let alone the city. There's enough contractors here looking for work that you don't need to go outside of the state of Oregon. I can't say anything that won't sound like a conspiracy theory. To me, it personally sounds like he trusts those people and he wants to bring outside help to fight against the DSA to get his policies and projects through. That's just my, armchair opinion, but that's how I feel. It's like, if you send me the information, I will 100% break it down and give you all a better answer in a post. But just from what I hear, that's what I believe.
We love bringing in criminals from Texas, man. We had this doctor come in from Texas. She had her licensing stripped. And she was, tearing apart minors' genitals and getting away with it for too long. And then the Attorney General Paxton said, no, thank you, and said, get the hell out of Texas. And got her out of Texas. Now she's a doctor up here at OHSU in the adolescent department. So these are the type of people that are around our children. These are the type of people that are city councils and our governors and the whatever business boards or whatever legislation, they want these people to come here. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Go ahead, Rocco. Brianna, I just want to say real quick too, Brianna, thank you. welcome to the space. I'm very interested. I'm happy that Matthias is going to get in contact, as well as Tough, speaking about this kind of stuff, because this is exactly what we need to talk about. Let me get some thumbs up if you guys can hear me still. Oh, Freedom Hammer gave me thumbs down. All right, go ahead, Rocco.
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah. I had something else that I originally put my hand up for. So thanks for giving me the info of it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, that's my imitation of Charles Barkley. And thank you very much. I'm here every night. The guy's here as much as I could be here. Whenever Guy opens a space, I'm going to try and be here too. And I'm going to say my hand identifies sometimes as a peace sign. And that's my excuse rather than say I forgot what I was going to say. I'm going to say at this particular time, my hand was identifying as a peace sign. And if it ever comes back to me, if you see it running through here, it's probably got its hair on fire. It may be screaming. Send it back to its owner. It's an idea I had. It ran away from me. It got away from me. And hopefully it'll come back.
Thank you, Rocco. My hand identifies as a peace sign, he says. Well, peace on, brother.
I heard you. Thank you so much. I was actually messaging Matthias in the background, and I just wanted to apologize. I did not mean to interrupt your donation pitch. Maybe you could repeat that. I'm so sorry for the misunderstanding.
Real quick, and too, Matthias, I got a question for you about that too. Is like if people wanted to donate, to me, all they have to go do is to my Venmo and my Cash App, or become a member on my page at AmericanAbsolutist.com. But if they wanted to donate to you, can you receive donations from like online money, like Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, anything like that?
So I need y'all to go to the pin post on my page. It is the Antidote website. So literally have whatever you want to give, however you want to give, it goes through that website. That way we can not get clapped up like every other person fighting against the DSA, because apparently they really want to make sure that everything's compliant for the red side. For them, they can do whatever they want to do. So MatthiasHallett.com. You go to the top of X profile, and then you'll see the pin post. It says new page, who dis.
Love it. Thanks for sharing, man. Thanks for sharing. Hey, if anybody wants to grab hands, speaker, anything like that, we got topics. I'm about to do a breaking news segment. I've been typing this up here for a minute. Yeah, a lot of going on. I got Daylight Disinfected in the house, citizen journalist from back in the day as well. I mean, he's a veteran in here, man. We've got some of the best veterans out here when it comes to reporting on things.
3:45 in the afternoon tomorrow in Sydney.
In the future.
Try and get your mind around that for a minute. I can never get my mind around it. You know, how hard that it's a day ahead in the afternoon. Just listening to the story, you know, that doctor story that you have, Geyer, that reminds me of the teachers. And when the teachers get caught doing stuff inside the Democrat circles, they call it, I think James O'Keefe used to call it, pass the trash. You know, that Texas doctor, right? She commits some horrendous sin down in Texas. Where is she ever going to get a job again? And they give her this big high-paying gig up in Portland. It doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah.
I'm sitting having some lunch in the pub and listening to you guys, and sounds great. Portland's got an conservative energy coming back to it, and feel it all the way from here.
And it's crazy because like it's online. Like this conservative energy is being now broadcasted online, which is something new. And I'm very appreciative of that. Dan, it's tomorrow over there. You're in the future. And I've seen some pictures, and I've got to get over there one of these days. That's one thing on the list of mine. And we can talk about this too. I want to know some of the most interesting places people in the chat have been, whether it's worldwide, nationwide, whatever it may be. For me, I think the most interesting place that I've been is here in the United States and in the middle of Colorado. Yeah, I'll tell you what. There's this rock formation, and if you look at it from a distance, it looks like a person sitting in a chair, and it's out in literally. It's probably about, I'd say, about 100 miles any direction you go, and then you find a small town up in the mountains. But you go up onto the rock formation, you can see like the entire landscape, and it's absolutely insane. And inside of there's a cave. Well, I was chased out of that cave by a mountain lion. That was like my fourth interaction I've ever had with a mountain lion. And we had to run down this mountain slope. And keep in mind, we're about 20. No, I wouldn't say 20. I say we're about 18 years old. Doing what 18-year-olds do with all their buddies when they're camping, hanging out, causing a nuisance with each other, but having fun. So we got chased by this mountain lion, and all of us are still alive. And so Colorado is like a different country when you go out into this landscape out there. I haven't really seen Colorado burn, but Colorado has burned before. But Portland, unfortunately, Oregon, excuse me, burns more than anything, really. I mean, Canada is on fire right now. I've got friends from Canada that are telling me they got floods and flooding their neighborhoods, flooding their houses, and then all of a sudden there's wildfires because of the winds. Like, I don't know. Our beautiful world and country is just being devastated by a lot of these so-called natural disasters. I don't believe they're 100% natural disasters. I believe a lot of them are human caused. And we saw that in 2021 here in Portland. So yeah, go ahead. Anybody who wants to grab a hand. I know Dan's in a pretty amazing place right now at Daylight Disinfectant. And who else has been some pretty amazing places? Paraguay. Is anybody ever in Paraguay?
I just want to take a second to reach out to I think you said Dan was in Australia. I believe, Guy, you gave us the Powerball amount was over 200 million. Dan, if you could get the Powerball number and then send it to me in Florida, and I'll send it to Guy out in Portland, and we'll split $200 something million between the three of us, because you're a day ahead of time. So if you
I'll
can get
put
the
that
Powerball
so
number
we
for
can pay less taxes for all of y'all.
But if you could get the Powerball number, you're a day ahead, and send it to me in Florida. I'll send it to Geyer. We'll get it there, and we'll get that ticket. We'll split that $200 something million.
And before you take it in your name, let me draft a trust for y'all.
Man,
we'll make sure
ever,
you can actually spend.
Go ahead, Brianna.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Brianna.
I was just going to ask, have you ever stumbled upon a highway marker? I think it's 34. It's right in between Cannon Beach and what is that? It's like Devil's Punch Bowl. It's like right up in that area along Highway 101. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the secret spot on the beach.
Okay, so is this you go down a set of stairs? There's a rock that kind of looks like a miniature Rockaway beach. Is that it? There's a lot of seagulls out there. You've kind of got houses. Maybe it's through a neighborhood. Is that what you're speaking about?
No. So this is it's like, so it used to be, okay. So all growing up, it was like the surfer camping spot. And it was like the place where nobody was supposed to know about, but like only the locals and surfer. Anyways, I think someone actually bought it and like I don't think you're allowed to camp there anymore. But like, this is the most magical spot that I've ever been to. It sticks out in my mind. It's like, to me, it's up there with like Silver Falls, like walking behind the falls, for example. But it's like this little spot. It's highway marker 34. And as soon as you see that, you turn into this, just like, it's barely big enough for a car. But if you hike up behind there, it's this cliff and it overlooks all of, like, I think it's Devil's Punch Bowl, and it's like right there by Cannon Beach. I don't know the exact beach that it looks over, but it's just gorgeous. And you can hike down. There's this big rock that you can like get up onto, and it's like a plateau. And you can lay there and like watch all the stars and listen to the ocean. Anyways, that's like my magical spot. That's when you talk about the coolest places on, that ranks number one for me.
I'm definitely gonna have to find that. I'm searching it right now. I've never if I drove by it or went to it, there's a possibility that I fished it maybe, because we find all these different spots along the coastline to go fishing. Speaking of fishing, guys, I'm gonna plug some things, and then we're gonna get into let somebody have a mic here. We're gonna let Brecca have the mic up. Hope I'm pronouncing that properly. But yeah, Northwest Bound Outdoors, guys. He's going to be heading out to the ocean on the Columbia River side out at Buoy 10, www.northwestboundoutdoors.com. He's a guide fisherman, my good friend, and the sponsor of the Geyer Show that keeps the lights on here for the most part. And so get on the boat with him. It's a great time. If you've never been on a guide fishing boat for salmon, you get to keep 2 of these salmon that you catch. Bring it home to your family, cook it, share it with your friends, smoke it, bring it over to me. We'll smoke it for you. And it's going to be a good time. So it's August 1st through 31st. But you can't go on August 31st or August 29th and 30th because you got to be at the Ponderosa Theater or Ponderosa Lounge if you're in Portland and you like country music to see my friend Brandon Hart, who is a country music artist out of the South. And then he came up to Portland because he followed his love and he found his love here and he's sticking out here and he's doing a show. He's headlining Ponderosa Lounge, August 29th and 30th at the Cowboy Kickback. We're going to be hanging out there, handing out merch, taking pictures, talking about things, enjoying good country music, dancing. So yeah, be out there. Get on the boat with Kevin. Let's get into it. Thank you for letting me plug my stuff. Brecca, go ahead.
Thank you for letting me speak. It's a little bit late for me tonight, but yeah, I'm in California and Southern California, and most of our fires were set by arsonists, and it can be proven. You just have to look up rust and all that stuff, and but they, of course, they say it's climate change or what have you, but it's a true story. But I'll let somebody else go. Thank you for letting me speak.
Of course, Brecca. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to be looking that into that as well. Northern California is. I mean, I've got roots in California. That's where I was originally born. Lived in Modesto for a while. Southern California boy here until I was 7. Then that's when I moved up here. But yeah, lots to look into. What's going on with your governor down there? Good Lord.
Oh my God. He's just a clown. I don't believe that anybody voted for him. I have yet, even the liberals have not voted for this guy. And we tried to recall him twice. And he's just being Mr. King Newsom. So but I see a hand going up, and I'll let the other person speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Brecca. Thank you for joining the show. I gave you a follow. Everybody who joins in, who isn't a familiar face and what comes in and speaks, that's exactly what this space is for. And giving their feedback and their information about where they're from, what they see. Go ahead, Rocco.
Yeah, I could be real quick. I'm just gonna touch on real quick what she was saying. Newsom is not just a clown; he's an ass clown. Just saying. And Spin, brother, what's been going on? I ain't seen you in 6 months, maybe, man. What's happening? What you been up to? What's going on with you? How you been? What's happening? What's kicking? How's the city in the Spin, or the Spin in the city? Come on, man. I done asked you 6 questions. Your mic turned off? You need to plug it in? You forgot how to connect it, didn't you? It's disconnected. Your speaker's broke. You can't hear me talking. You can't. Knock. Hello. Can you ring? Hello. Ringy dingy dingy. Hello. Spin. Can you hear me?
He's I think he's either doing 2 things. Filling up his water bottle or he's running another live stream yelling at a liberal.
He might be emptying his water tank too. I guess that's a possibility, right?
Yeah, that could be it. While we wait for that, go ahead, Brianna.
Yeah, so as you're looking into things, I just wanted to share something I think is worth really mentioning here. Prior to leaving Oregon, I did a title search on recent purchases. Following the 2020 riots, and it's just very interesting. If you look at the map around Portland, the riots really appeared to be right up to the boundary line of what the city has designated as being part of the smart city zoning. And I did a search after the city of Portland had instituted new zoning ordinances and made essentially they prioritized what's called mixed multi-use zoning. So these are high rises with some type of commercial zoning, some type of low income housing, and then some type of like high priced condominiums, for example, at the top. And so after the city prioritized this, they, and after the riots, they ended up quite a few buildings switched hands. I found it really fascinating that the state of Oregon itself was buying up these buildings. So they're buying up these commercial buildings and turning them into these mixed multi-use properties under this new smart city zoning. So that's something that may pique your interest. The other thing I would encourage people to take a look at is the OSU wildfire map. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with like NFIP or any of the new FEMA ordinances or rule changes, excuse me, that were finalized under the Biden administration. But some very interesting things happened I don't want to bore people with the details, but essentially in these hazardous areas, there are these new rankings where you are ranked as example for fire. Insurers do not have to insure you, and then of course if you have a mortgage, you can't maintain your mortgage without some type of insurance, homeowners insurance. And so I found it really interesting that OSU, for example, was creating this new fire map and sort of ranking areas, which were very not very generous, I would say, to rural Oregonians. If you extrapolate that into census blocks, there's a lot of economic incentive to sell that property and say move to the suburbs or a city, for example. So just a couple things to bring up, not to be cryptic, but from a policy.
You set me off on a tangent tomorrow that I will be billing every hour that I don't have to look at stuff up. You may have bored other people, but you just set my brain turning.
You got mine turning too. I'm interested when people are incentivized.
I'm interested when insurance companies have a leg up on the consumer.
Yeah, you set my brain turning too, but I don't think it's for the same reason, even though it may very well be for the same exact reason as Geyer and Matt. I'm sorry, brother. I don't want to mispronounce your name. And I know you said it. Anyway, you already know me. You said you don't know if we were familiar with NFUP or NFIP. And to be honest with you, TMI, I may not want to be familiar with what happens in I'm just saying.
National flood Yeah, so the government owns a monopoly on flood insurance. They own about 95% of the marketplace. Through FEMA and their reinsurers, and that's NFIP is the National Flood Insurance Program, or plan. Too many acronyms in federal government, but it is a very connected web. And under the Biden administration, for example, they came up with this plan called "quote unquote" community-driven relocation. Just look into it.
Yeah, 100%. It's the program.
The irony of this conversation, Brianna, is like I actually have a friend. Well, my wife has a friend who works for an insurance company, and she had a attorney tell her that her company's policies, standard operating procedures, were breaking the law and were fraudulent. So, Geyer, I already peeped this one to you. We might have a breaking story because I plan on ripping the Band-Aid off of this one because I've been done dirty because of the policies in Oregon, kind of biasing insurance companies when my motorcycle was stolen, and to hear that the web goes higher than just property crime, it's like, yeah, it's like we're about to have some fun.
It seeps into personal injury as well, dude. I mean, I can't talk about what I want to talk about.
Well, I've got experience in personal injury, so it's one of those like once we rip the Band-Aid off the industry as a whole, then we can actually get some justice for people. But yeah, these spaces are a problem, Geyer. It's like I have all the knowledge to really rip things up here because this is my wife's home and I'm trying to, make sure nobody wants to leave. But I've got experience, but I don't have the local knowledge. But I'm a good old boy, so if folks want to come here. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm giving you your props, bud. But it's like we'll keep this up. We're gonna run it up, man. It's like this place. I'm where all those people that's moved out to the outskirts are gonna want to come down at the very least to get some barbecue from us.
You better be careful, Matthias. If you're not careful, every night we have the guy has one of these spaces, you're going to come away with another case you want to take, end up having to do it pro bono. Just saying.
Hey, just saying, I got 25 pro bono hours on my license I got to get rid of, period. So if it's in my jurisdiction, we can have some fun. And like I said yesterday, I am the type of attorney that I teach people. So if we're going to bring a pro se case and you call me from the back while you're trying to file it, I've done that too, bud.
Go ahead, Tough.
I'm from a different place, man. They're not prepared.
Have you met Tyler Smith of Rural Property Advocates? I think is the firm out of Canby. Have you met him yet?
I haven't. I've only been in Canby on my motorcycle. So it's like I've kind of been in a bubble in Portland, and that's kind of what made me upset to want to my hat in here. But I'm meeting more and more people, but I'm kind of set my roots in District 3, and I'm kind of been from there. More people that talk about saving.
He's a great guy. Property rights advocate.
What? Sorry, Brianna. What's his name?
Tyler Smith.
What year? Am I saying your name right, Brianna? Brianna.
Yeah, that's perfect.
What you discovered is so genius. You must have the very brain you could to pair the smart cities with the right. Our government can be this evil, but it fits into for farmers insurance for farmers. We think of farmers as we are farmers. Can go to, they were at one time, but they're owned by the Swedish companies Sweden. And Sweden is the most corrupt country, laying low, with a lot of really creepy uh, leadership that's been has been puppet masters of the world for a long, long time, and they are completely aligned with the ESG credit score. I learned this when I worked there because so with insurance, they can cancel you traditionally for tickets, accidents, not paying your bill. How far you drive is not regulation yet, and I use the word yet again, but we had customers 1 or 2 weeks who were getting cancellation notices for their umbrella policies, which it's strange because that has nothing to do with the car. I mean, only if you get in an accident, right? But I think they were testing out liability reasons to cancel you for just liability reasons. Oh, you're being bad for driving too far. And these were old people who didn't drive anywhere. And they're like, why am I getting canceled? I said, I don't know. And I called up and the farmer said, ignore it. It was a mistake. And I thought, well, interesting. I have the letters. I kept it. I went into my boss's office. I said, there you go. They're controlling us, how far we drive. They've getting it in motion and it slipped through the system. And my boss was like, I don't want to talk about it, because you can't talk about it. You lose your job, right? So I Googled farmers and ESG credit score, and something popped up that says Farmers is proud to announce they're the first carrier to roll out the ESG credit score. Now, people say just went away. That didn't, but they're just bringing it in. And the reason it tried to tell lenders, you have to run their social credit score before you can give them a loan. Their behavior dictates whether they're worthy of getting a loan. And the lenders did that for a while, and they said, forget that. That is not a good measure of their loan.
I don't mind. Keep going. Yeah, go ahead.
the IoT, or the Internet of Things, and the Internet of Bodies. So what we do, what we think, what we consume, how far we drive, the geofencing, the carbon credits, the there's the Dignity Index, which is a matrix that's came out of Cambridge. There's the Disagree Better framework, for example, that's being ushered in by Republican governors as we speak. It came, rushing out after the Charlie Kirk thing. Anyways, the whole system is this circular economy that's based on basically behaviors, thoughts, and actions. And it's in evolution beyond our current monetary system. It's not necessarily dependent on a central bank digital currency, but it is absolutely dependent on a digital based currency, which is the credit, where the credit matrix it becomes interoperable, if that makes sense. So if you're not familiar with the well-being economy or the well-being economic framework, it's being piloted currently in Switzerland and Denmark. So I would highly encourage people to take a look at that, because it's completely interoperable with the smart city ordinances and zoning, essentially. Okay, that's it.
Thank you for sharing. I am definitely going to
I
get
haven't
into
heard
that.
people say those words in years, Brianna. As a political scientist, as background, I'm gonna do my absolute best to undo all of that, because I believe in good old fashioned, regular American constitutional private property rights. But yeah, it's like I 100,000%. You may have bored everybody, but I took so many notes. I was like, I'm gonna read so much tomorrow.
Yeah, I need to get study up on this because this is something that interests me as well. I mean, it happens here. And it happens in
That's why
Clackamas
you're gonna
County.
be my paralegal guy. I already told you. It's like I'm gonna bully
I'd
you
be a
until
terrible
you.
lawyer, bro.
You're not the lawyer. You are literally finding all the dirt for me to go and air out. That is
Well,
what a paralegal does.
I can tell you this. I do know that lawyers hire private investigators. And I do know that
You
eventually I
would be
wanted to
an
try
excellent
and
skip
start one of
tracer
these
Randy.
companies.
That's what I used to call my old process server, skip tracer Randy. If that's all you want to do, we can do that. But I can absolutely, I'll hire you. I don't do litigation anymore, so this would just be fun.
I'm a protest server. Shine shoes. Anybody know that movie? Come on. If you know that movie, give me a thumbs up. That's one of the best scenes ever.
Wait, say it again. Say it again.
Okay, you're a process. I'm a process server. He goes, protest server, shine shoe. Oh, like a butler.
Are you talking about the
Chauffeur?
Matrix?
No. So,
No.
if anybody knows, give a thumbs up. But I'm going to tell you right now. You got Seth Rogen and his other buddy in Pineapple Express. And in the beginning, Seth Rogen is a process server, and he has to dress up as all these different people and go serve people their paperwork. And so he's telling his stoner deal, his weed dealer, who is, I can't remember his name, but he's telling his weed dealer,
James Franco.
James Franco, exactly. And I'm a process server. And James Franco's just naming off these professions, like a butler, a chauffeur. It's one of the greatest scenes ever. You'll have to watch it. Go ahead, Brecca.
Well,
we've got actually fun.
Mostly. Go ahead.
I've got other people. I've got some more people raising their hands here. I've got a full speaker panel in the house. I'm gonna drop a couple people if you don't mind, so I can get some more people up here.
Not a worry. I'll drop down after I speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's really fascinating, Brianna. I'm so glad I follow you. Every time I hear Brianna speak, I just discover how much little I do not know. And it's always a pleasure. In any case, now I forgot what I was going to say. And so I'll drop down. Love to you all.
Thank you, Breck. If you think about it, come on back up, send a request. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to hear what everybody has to say, and that's why I love giving everybody a mic. Because I mean, Brianna, you brought up some very interesting stuff that I'm now going to deep dive into and reach out to you for, and I'm sure Matthias is going to be talking about it too. Yeah, I'm gonna. Thanks for dropping down, Brecca. Thanks you for coming in. I guess I'm running this. I don't have a co-host. Both my co-hosts backed out because they got other things that they got to take care of. So let's go with Funkmaster. You had your hand up, and then we'll go Tough Coalition, and then anybody else. I've got somebody coming in here who wants to join, and let's go ahead with Funkmaster. What's up, bro? How are you?
Hey, thanks, Geyer. Thanks for holding the space again and having an open mic. A couple things I want to touch on. I did hear y'all talking about the CCP, so I wanted to kind of expand on that a little bit. The more and more has come to light about how they're trying to manipulate our system and how they're yoking journalists and organizations to proliferate their propaganda. Over the last 3 weeks almost, about a dozen cities in China look like Hurricane Katrina, but we don't really hear much about that. It's been so intense that we've gotten a tiny bit of news out of there about it, because it's worse than last year, which last year was horrific also. And when it comes to the social credit score, stuff like that, the connecting it to Davos is very easy because Tencent, for example, the biggest, arguably the most powerful, biggest corporation in China. If you look up where they're actually owned out of Davos as well. Of course, I spent time protesting against the Bilderbergs, and it's all kind of like the same group of people. You just have one that's more Eurocentric, or one that's more Anglo-centric, and one that's more kind of like Israel centric, but Israel isn't a monolith because you have British intelligence stuff. You have kind of like a British intelligence faction, connected faction that's fighting with Netanyahu, and people can try to argue which one they prefer. I think that's kind of a tough one. One of the main reasons I want to come in too is I did a little bit of activism with Rick Simpson. It's kind of how I was able to get into a position where I am as a cannabis advocate and activist. And people who are experiencing long COVID, and vaccine injuries, I think y'all would be very, very highly benefited potentially from endocannabinoid therapy. The most popular version of that is the Rick Simpson oil. Rick Simpson's documentary, Run From the Cure, was on YouTube and it got taken down. It's probably the most impactful 45 to 50 minutes of footage I've ever seen. Changed my life and set me on the journey I am today. I actually connected with Rick Simpson after doing Occupy Bilderberg because his guy, Ginrich Bayer from the Bayer family, Bayer drug family's black sheep, was working with Rick in Croatia when I organized the Bilderberg rally back in 2012. And then he contacted me and I was able to get Rick Simpson on the radio to do some interviews. Geyer, I think Rick would be a great interview, or Mike Wise. Rick is a little slowed down because he's had a couple of strokes. So like if you listen to him talk or see his new videos, you can tell he's kind of lost a few steps, but he's still there. But like I work with Mike Wise with the Mike Wise Show and OG Labs also, and he could be a great interview too if you'd be down. I don't know how much you talk about this subject matter.
It's
being an open mic,
very knowledgeable about.
Awesome.
Keep going, bro. Because this is like one of my top 3 subjects that I don't touch on too often, but I should. Because I believe cannabis and endocannabinoid treatment has been a lifesaver, and I think it needs to be something instated into the medical aspects of hospitals and stuff like that. So yeah, I understand.
Absolutely. Yeah, and now it's even a little more relevant because we have long COVID and we have vaccine injuries. And there's a body of data that's coming forward, including my collaboration with a patient who was on hospice and now kind of looks like, well, she's doing physical therapy. Have you ever heard anybody in hospice doing physical therapy? So to see what this can do for people who have vaccine injuries or long COVID, and additionally, Rick Simpson's, he went viral because, I'm sorry. I'm trying to roll a spliff. My cat just jumped on my lap. He's going to try to knock the weed out of my hand. He does this every time I do spaces.
Oh, you
So
gotta
I'm going
put
to
it
try
in
to cut it.
pen, man.
Try to cut it quickly here. If y'all haven't seen the Run from the Cure documentary, it's
Great
on
documentary.
Rumble. But they, no, I don't know why they target me while I'm trying to roll. But if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Rumble, and if you can't find it, feel free to message me or whatever, or I'll try to grab the Rumble link for Run from the Cure. It's less than an hour long, and it's just a very impactful documentary. And there's resources now like phoenixtears.ca and the Mike Wise Show and OG Labs to learn more about it. My interview also got deleted from YouTube after 10 years being up there. Thanks, Guy.
Of course, man. Thank you. Yeah, I would love to. I'm gonna pick your brain. We're gonna talk about that kind of stuff, and I'd love to even have like a full-on discussion about and whole open space about that. Let's get some advocacy in here. Thank you for sharing that.
Totally down.
Yeah, go ahead, Salty.
Can you check your DM, please?
Say that again.
Can you check your DM, please?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, Funk, I have a theory on why your cat attacks you while you're trying to roll. One, the weed is like catnip to your kitty. And two, your kitty sees that both your hands are busy at this moment. So it's an easy way to attack you when your hands are busy.
Rocco, if you saw it, you could tell that he's targeting me on purpose when I'm doing this. If you saw it, you would know.
Oh, I'm sure. I believe you. And I believe it's because the catnip is, the weed is like catnip. And both, you both your hands are busy. It's like having handcuffs on and punching somebody in the mouth. It's easy to punch somebody in the mouth when they got handcuffs on, especially if they really, really, really don't know how to fight. But if they really, really, really know how to fight, you might have made a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Salty, I got your message. Yeah, I appreciate you talking. Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna drop that in some DMs of my chat, of my group chat, and we're gonna have to download that and go over it. That's interesting. Oh, what? Go ahead, Salty. Cameras. Interesting. All right. 27. We got over 25 people in the house tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Geyer Space. We're going to continue to rock and roll until, typically we go until 12. That's what I put in as the rule, but who knows? Still got some time here. Go ahead. We got Freedom and then Tough.
Hey, everybody. I just wanted to say I'm going to get off here pretty soon anyways. I got some security things to take care of. If anybody would be willing to come out here and be boots on the ground with me, just to watch my back at least, I'll take you a tour through what's going on. So I have no problem with that. I just want somebody to watch my back so that nobody's sneaking up on me or something like that. So I would greatly appreciate it. Just DM me and we can work something out. Somewhere to meet or something. So yeah, I'm the only one out here that's doing this kind of thing that I know of out here where I'm at. So I could use all the help that I can get. So yeah, being followed by gang members and cartel, I'm at my limit. So I'm going to give them a good push. I'm not afraid of that. I just need somebody having my back. That's all I'm asking. I appreciate it.
And when you don't have like the police or your public officials to do anything about it to help you, unfortunately, we have to go to these measures to say, hey, I'm going to go out and do this. I'm going to be boots on the ground, and I'm gonna need some people to watch over me while I do this. It's an unfortunate thing, but then again, I'm grateful for the people in the cities that are boots on the ground. Freedom, keep doing what you're doing out there, bro, and we're gonna see you soon.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do some filming too, but I couldn't do it on my motorcycle tonight. Unfortunately, I was just trying to maneuver and get home. So, and they followed me, of course. So,
Yep.
They already knew where I lived. I'm well known out here for doing what I'm doing, so I'm not afraid of that. Like I said, I just need some backup, and we'll make this we'll make them famous. And thank you, Guy, for letting me speak. And I'll catch you guys later. God
Of
bless.
course. Thank you, Freedom. Thank you for joining the space. Thank you for giving your thoughts on everything going on and letting us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. Again, it's the surrounding cities too outside of Portland that have a problem, and we're hoping to take care of it one step at a time. Let's see. Go ahead, Tough. Enjoy your night.
I
Freedom.
just go ahead. What do you want to say?
I was just telling Freedom to enjoy his night. Go ahead, Tough.
Okay. Yeah, good night, Freedom. Yeah, because he's in the beginning of your space. He mentioned that he's tangling with the cartel, right, in his neighborhood.
Yeah, so out in the county that he's in, they've got a significant influx of illegal immigration. And what comes along with that illegal immigration, it influx into our schools, it influxes into our local programs and workspaces and stuff like that. So, I mean, the county that he's in, it's just covered in gang activity, MS-13, all of these Trinidad, Aragua, and then you've got nonprofits trying to seep their way into his county as well. And then all of their city council is corrupt, most of them. The police force isn't allowed to do anything, just like Portland. And they're being defunded. So it's terrible.
What city is he in?
Freedom, do you mind, or if he's still here? I don't want people to give away.
Cool. Or what county? I don't know. It's okay if you don't want to say it. So
I think we posted about it yet. So that's okay. Washington County.
Oh, that's where I live. Washington County has a lot of cartel here.
Oh, Tough, I'll tell you. I mean, I've been a resident of Washington County, and I've seen it firsthand.
Oh man, there's a neighborhood just down the street from me, and I walked through it because I was running, and I just did a shortcut, and I felt like I was in Tijuana, and I was just like, "What's happening?" People in the hijabs, Muslims and Latinos, super poor and strange, and anyway, but because I live in a pretty high income area, but this looked very ghetto. Anyway, okay, so what I wanted to get into is what we were talking about. Brianna was talking about smart cities and the corruption of controlling economies and some really deep stuff. And I shared about how the insurance industry is partnering to monitor our driving and how far we drive. I worked for Farmers Insurance for 6 years, so I understand how it works when you have a claim. And I think it's really weird that flood insurance is issued by the government. Now, the insurance company will broker it, but you buy it from the federal government. It's very expensive. You have to have it to buy a home if it's in the floodplain, and it's a grift. The idea is that it would be so broad. If there was like a tsunami, it would pay to replace the homes to a certain amount. It would restore people's lives to a certain amount, up to 300,000. No matter how valuable your house is, you only max out at 300,000, but it's there for you, right? In theory. But I did some research when I saw how North Carolina, FEMA acted very suspicious, right? They denied help for patriots. If they had a Trump flag, they'd skip their house. And I thought, we got corruption. So I started from the ground zero, and I'm like, what is FEMA? Who runs it? And oh my gosh, it opened up this big can of corruption. And I saw that Mayorkas, who is Homeland Security, is the boss of FEMA. And I think that's kind of a new thing. I thought, well, that guy, isn't he known to be creepy? Isn't he a bad guy? And I started looking into who he was. And he is connected to the cartel. He, being in charge of FEMA, has access to all the money that rolls out to help rebuild a community. but they weren't rebuilding North Carolina, and they aren't restoring the people in Hawaii, right? So I thought, oh, I get it. So the federal government has all this money to rebuild homes, but now they're choosing to not give it. Where Americans relied on this, it's now kind of iffy. And Mayorkas used to be under Clinton as the DA in Los Angeles. And he was involved in corruption in 1989. I put a spreadsheet. I did this whole nerdy spreadsheet. I spent like 2 days on it, OCDing on it, and I just went deep. And Mayorkas was the DA under Clinton, he was going to be an entertainment lawyer. And he got hired by Clinton, and then he was bribed by Hillary Clinton's brother to release a cartel guy that was convicted from prison. He had a 15-year sentence. He got out after like 2 years because of Mayorkas. But he was also bribed by Javier Becerra, who is now running for office in California. That guy's got a lot of corruption going on with, he was in charge of the trafficking of kids over the border. He had the job of the, what's that called when you, gosh, help me out. What's the title? All these.
He's a coyote.
No, he was the guy that was in charge of, like transporting people over the border. He was the border czar guy. But Becerra, Javier, it starts with an X, Javier Becerra.
Trafficking.
No, he was in charge of the to protect. He was he was supposed to be the protector of immigration. So Mayorkas and
Greg Vivino's job.
I can't think of the name of it, but it's like a big deal, like
You got someone
DHS.
who's the borders are.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but they worked together, and they were young politicians in the 80s, and they took Hillary Clinton's brother's bribe to let this guy out of prison. Now, here's the creepy part about this too. Another guy, his name was Villagrosa. He was part of it too as a young, he was like when you're elected to be like a House representative for a district. These guys were all young politicians at the time. Over the years, Villagrosa became the mayor of Los Angeles 2 terms, and he's running for governor in the next election. All of them were serving the cartel. And then Mayorkas becomes the boss of FEMA. So what I see is going on is it's like they call it the color revolution, right? Like, let's get rid of the white Americans. We're going to push it all off the table. We're going to destroy everything, and everything's going to become government controlled. I don't know how to define it. Brianna could do a better job, but this is a wiping away of America with, I don't want to sound prejudiced, but this is like they say the color revolution, like get rid of the white man. And I'm not expressing myself well, but I think I made my point. This corruption just goes really deep.
Vignali's recusal or whatever it was, his pardon, I guess you could say, that just shows 100% corruption. You're giving a drug kingpin, drug runner, like a complete commute of a sentence. Like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, that should show the 100% corruption right there. And the fact that Becerra's running for governor, like what? It's a political cartel. Tough. It's a very political cartel. And Tina Kotek is at the top here in Oregon, unfortunately.
I got it. So Becerra was the Secretary of Health.
Xavier Becerra, right?
Yeah. Very powerful.
Yeah, very powerful people.
And Hillary's brother got caught. He had to give the money back. And the only thing that happened was Hillary said, oh, my brother shouldn't have done that. He has to give the money back.
Yeah, he was stuff was Pardon Gate or something like that, right?
I didn't know I had a nickname. But here's some other weird stuff too. So as I dug into FEMA, the 2 women that are the boss of it, they're corrupt. And one of them was like a young FEMA employee during 9/11. And because I went and I'm like, who is this chick, you know? And the other one, she has a lot of corruption. And Mayorkas leads them. He's their boss, but those two women have problems. I don't know if they're still in it now.
What's Mayorkas' background? What is he? Is he?
He's an attorney.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, and he went to, my dad was an attorney in LA, and he went, it was interesting. It's just interesting for me personally because my dad went to Berkeley and then he went to Loyola University, and so did Mayorkas. So like I can see it, like it becomes personal when it's like where you're from, you know. And he wanted to be an entertainment lawyer,
Hey
which
guys, on my
shows he
YouTube
wants to
chat.
be
Thank you for tuning in. Thank
worldly,
you for joining
right? When
in.
people want to get involved in
Appreciate
Hollywood,
you.
they have their,
Cash App, Venmo,
they're weird.
Geiger Digital
They
on all
can be
payment
so
platforms.
corrupt because they
I
care
like what you
about
are listening
that
to, and
attention.
you want to
And
keep
he
this
was part
going
Jewish and
forever
Cuban.
until we can't do it no more.
So does that mean he's connected
Please give us a
to
little
the
bit of a
communist
donation.
mindset? I don't
A
know.
little bit goes a long way. Continue to listen, share the space.
Oh, but
like,
what I was going
share,
to say
comment,
is,
get engaged
so I started
into the
looking at the
comment, into the
FEMA
chat.
women and their
Check out
calendars and
stuff we're
what they
posting
did,
into the
and they
space.
started going to these trade
Thank you for
shows.
tuning in. This is the Geiger Space.
The trade shows related to weird things like how to monitor populations, like where the vendors at these trade shows were how to monitor a population. Another trade show she went to was weather seeding conventions. A lot of weather seeding is in my report there, that spreadsheet, showing how it's absolutely used in warfare. And, you know, people suspected North Carolina, that whole storm system was weather seeding. So I just nerded out. If you guys want to look at it, you can see it and see, but it's, oh, and the trade shows for all this high technology were all connected to France. So isn't that just strange? Why would France be selling surveillance equipment to the United States FEMA reps? Just weird.
Because Macron runs France, I'm guessing. Wow.
What's
very
some New World
investigative
Order?
information. Tough. I was looking at your post too that you put in there with your spreadsheets. I like spreadsheets. I like faces, putting faces to names when people do their research and it comes out correct. So thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah, when you see a face, it takes away the power of these organizations. When you break it down to certain corrupt individuals, you start to feel a sense of empowerment.
Yeah, I mean that's if Daylight's in here, he can attest to that. I mean, I've exposed some faces. You know, I put cameras in the faces of people who are corrupt, who have hurt people physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in the workplace. You know, no matter what it is. I mean, I've got investigations on these nonprofit organizations that I've been working on, where whistleblowers are reaching out to me from inside of those companies that are saying, "Hey, this is what went on inside of this company. This is how they're paying us with our severance pay, and we're not being treated fairly." I mean, it goes way deeper than that to allegations of misconduct with abuse, and so I mean, you got homeless black women who are having their items that they worked for. It's crazy. Homeless people have jobs out here in Portland. Imagine that. Like I've met a few families and few people out here that have full-time jobs, two of them. And so it's crazy to me that this kind of ties into the housing and then and the smart cities, and we've got 15-minute cities here in Portland, right at the OHSU South Waterfront. I mean, you walk out of your apartment door, and you've got your doggy daycare, your hospital, your restaurant, your job, your entertainment, everything right then and there. But you've got homeless people who are working 3 jobs just to stay homeless. So I don't understand it. It's unfortunate, and it's because of the corruption that comes from the top. When we're talking about cartel, we have political cartels in this place too. I don't want to live under a political cartel anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of reporting on it. I'm tired of seeing it. But it's going to continue to happen if we don't do anything with these kind of spaces that we hold and community groups and get-togethers and voting and all that. So I'm grateful that everybody has positive information to bring to the show. Thank you guys for letting me share about that. Funkmaster, you've had your hand up, or Brecca, I don't know who was first, but go ahead, guys. Whoever talks first gets the mic.
I think Breck was first, so if it's okay if I yield to her and then go after.
Ladies first. Go ahead, Breck.
Thank you so much. I know about California politics, and for those who are interested in the Los Angeles, California politics, Jennifer Van Laar, LAAR, she's very on top of it, but we have the Charla cartel uh, scaring her off. Now she's living in Nevada, but she still exposes these, jerks. And then farmers insurance. I did have farmers insurance. I still do for one of my cars. And it's interesting that they kept on saying, what does your odometer read? And I'm like, nothing much, because my work is like 5 minutes away. To be honest with you, but it's interesting that they do that. It's kind of funny, but Via Gorsa, or whatever his name is, the LA mayor, and Xavier Becerra, yeah, they're part of Charla, and we got a big fat what do you call it, a cartel problem, and it's in 50 states. There's an author named John Thayer, and he did letter to the governor, and him and his staff, they're not like liberal or conservative. They try to be, how do you say it, non-biased, and to get the word out that these people are taking over our country right now, and it's in all 50 states. And love to you all. I'm going to drop down so the other speakers can speak.
Rebecca, can I ask you real quick? What did you say they are a part of? Is that a gang name?
Charla, CHRLA. Sorry, CHRLA. It's a cartel group, and if you follow Jennifer Van Laar,
Chirla.
I just recently.
CHIRLA.
Yes, thank you. And yeah, these guys are, really big in the California region. She had to recently move to Nevada, because she was getting threats. And she was getting threats when me and another friend of ours got rid of my congresswoman, Katie Hill. You can look her up. She was into, weird ass stuff, and not showing up because she was too high or too drunk in Congress. So just saying.
So Chirla, I'll step in here, just so because I want to be 100% factual about things. Chirla stands for Coalition for Humane Immigration Rights. Is an immigrant rights non-governmental organization based in Los Angeles. Online discussions and political commentary linking Chirla to cartels typically stem from debates over immigration policy, government funding of advocacy groups, and congressional inquiries into protest networks. Chirla's stance is an official know your rights and policy guideline. Chirla advocates for federal immigration enforcement. That federal immigration enforcement should focus its resources on violent criminals, human traffickers, and cartel members rather than long-term residents, workers, and families. So if we're talking about the same Chirla, there's no like this isn't a drug cartel, basically, but they're advocacy for immigration rights. We have those here in Portland. It's called PIRC, and PIRC, they stand outside of these ICE facilities, and they try to basically advocate for their rights. Um, I believe in human rights, obviously, but the rights that, and I'll stand on this, and I don't care who wants to say anything against it, but the rights of a human being are different from the rights that we have here as an American citizen with the law. I don't believe you have the same rights in the law if you're not an American citizen. So why are we advocating for illegals? Why are we advocating for somebody who's not from our country, who is coming into our country taking? If you take a single penny from an American citizen and you're here illegally, like, go home. And I'll be the first to say that it's not based off of this color of your skin. It's not based off of what country you come from. If you, I've got pale skin, right? And if there's somebody from Denmark, who comes to this country and takes just a penny illegally, go back to the country that you came from. There's no race about it. It's all about the law and what we need to be doing for our American citizens. And it's unfortunate that we do things for foreign citizens, and we invite foreign citizens in here to interfere in our elections. We caught them firsthand when I uncovered IP28. They're from Denmark. They're Dutch, actually. They're from the Netherlands. And the IP28 petitioners, they're gathering signatures. Who are they gathering signatures for? Russia, who's paying them to do so. So we have foreign interference in our elections because all they're doing is gathering signatures so they can use them in California to go on ballots, what they've been doing for the past, God knows how many years. And so it's unfortunate that the foreign citizen has come in and gotten more welcoming and more rights by these bullshit ass foreign rights activists. Like, if you're going to advocate for somebody foreign before you advocate for somebody who's an American, get the hell out of here, bro. Like, that's all I have to say about that. I'm not for, this PIRC. I'm not for, we have these lawyers guilds who are these alleged wannabe lawyers who wear green hats that say they're lawyers. I mean, we had one of them tell me to suck Elon Musk's dick. Excuse my language, but that's the kind of rhetoric that these people push because they've been so blinded by the truth. They've been so misinformed on so many levels, and I'm getting really sick and tired of it. I'm getting really sick and tired that we have to listen to these people. These people are the ones that make our laws and our legislation, and it's not even on the left side too. It's on the right side as well. And this is my space, and I'm going to talk about things in my space and not get booted because you can't boot me from my space when I want to talk about the Republican rhinos that try and take away our decency and our dignity as American citizens as well. I mean, you've got Ed Deal, who voted for a bill, House Bill 2010, who gave illegal immigrants healthcare through Medicaid, and he received kickbacks from it, allegedly. Like, are you kidding me right now? And I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm so sick and tired of these Democrats in disguise posing as Republicans as well, who are legislators, who are making these laws and making these rules. We talked about Tina Kotek's staff rioting. I can tell you this. Guess who voted for a bill to ban mugshots being posted online and on the internet and stuff in Portland? Christine Drazen. Why did she do that? Why is she right after Tina Kotek's or was it Kate Brown's? It was either Tina Kotek or Kate Brown's rioters got caught for rioting. They didn't want her image blasted all over the internet, showing that she was possibly Antifa. But Christine Drazen voted for that mugshot ban. So we can't see they're all for public safety. And I'm gonna touch on Matthias's thing. He's about the public safety because if these Republican governor nominees are all for public safety, why are they voting in favor of banning mugshots of criminals who are part of our own governor's staff? Like, come on now. So I think it's all over the board. I think the corruption goes way further than we think. And we also have to realize that there's people who we vote for that aren't really who they say they are. And when you uncover some things, you'll find out they're really not. And I hope this can, like, people can understand that because the corruption goes all across the board. And when that happens, there's no such thing as in my opinion, there's no such thing as a left or a right. There's a bird with no wings, and that bird's going to fall. So you need the left and the right to be working hand in hand, not having these corruption battles over each other. But because then you find out they're all on the same page with each other, and we're left scratching our heads like, what the hell's going on? Well, our gas prices are too high. Everything's too damn expensive. Meanwhile, we should just all be drinking raw milk. So thank you guys for joining the space. We got more people with their hands up. Tough or Funkmaster, whoever came first, Funkmaster or Tough?
Okay, so I don't have much to say. I'll be brief. I just wanted to encourage people to look into lobbying. It's something that I think it's kind of not brought up too much on our side, but I have heard a little bit more of it recently in some spaces. And it's a process that people look down on because it's the cause for a lot of the awful state that we're in now. Is lobbyists from certain industries going in and influencing policy, but we can do the same thing. We can get ballot initiatives, we can collect signatures. So if you're out on the East Coast, near DC, then it's really easy to go to DC and lobby. I know a cannabis activist who flies from LA to DC to lobby for cannabis reform. So I just highly recommend that. That's one of those things that doesn't sound like fun to do, but I think most of y'all would agree that a lot of the things that we need to pick up on that are very important are exactly that. They're kind of lacking, and there's good activists. There's all kinds of different things that you can do, but this is something that you can do that and other things at the same time too. For those who have the ability to invest the time. Thank you.
Invest that time. It's key. It's important. And if you don't have the time to invest, just jump along. Like get on board. Because that's probably more as just important as the leaders are the people who are supporting the leaders and backing the leaders. So building a team, building an entire, I'm not going to say army, but building an entire collective of people who just want to see, the next day get better. It all starts with, all you got the left side saying, let's focus on each other's feelings and all this. Government's huge. Civics are huge. Being in your city councils is huge. Voting for initiatives, shutting down initiatives, having people exposing things, it's huge. Because if you got a leader, who the hell is he going to lead? So yeah, I'm all about that, man. I'm all about it. And with that, we've got coming close to the end of the hour, and I think we're gonna call it that. Unless anybody else has anything else that's like on the tip of their tongue they want to say, you got 10 seconds to speak up, or we're gonna close it, and then we'll see you guys next Sunday. Rocco, go ahead.
Yeah, if you're gonna close it down, brother, I just want to say again, thanks for holding the space. I would thank your co-host, but it looked like they've been sleeping on you. But thank you, co-host. And I know none of you brothers and sisters, but I truly do love you all. Geyer, thanks for having me in the space. Let me have a mic. Peace be with you, brothers and sisters, until we meet again.
Thank you, Rocco. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, it's been great. It's been great having great voices in here. Whether it be from all over the map. So we appreciate you guys. Shout out to the people that got involved, that listened, that conversated, that posted stuff in the pill. Be on the lookout for some things coming out this week. I've got some interviews that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be premiering, and they're big interviews. And so we got some big things I'm going to be doing with Matthias. Hopefully we can get everybody behind him. Check out my website, americanabsolutist.com. I'm all about promoting your own stuff. I think I'm going to do like a promote yourself Monday or something like that, to where I open up the chats, the comments, whatever it may be. If you got a small business, we got small businesses that are getting diminished here in Portland. I mean, there's nobody wants to run a small business storefront in downtown Portland if you're in the right mind. And unfortunately, the people that have been in it for so long are still have to run it just to keep the lights on. They're not making a profit off of it. And when you have surrounding counties, people in Tigard, I mean, one of my sponsors, Ayla Mac Hairco, Tara McLaughlin, she's an amazing person who, a salon, an artist, a hairstylist. She's really good. She cut my wife's hair. She did really great, but she keeps talking about how her tips are being slashed. These people are not able to walk away with their tips because of certain legislation, and that crap's got to get changed, because we want small businesses here in Portland. We want people to thrive, and that's the goal here on this space is to thrive here. And we've got more discussions coming. We're going to be opening up discussions about addiction and recovery and sports and entertainment. And I'm a big UFC fan, and so we might even have just like I know Rogan does watch parties with like UFC fights. We might even open up spaces for watch parties, and comment on what we're listening to, what we're seeing, or any major events. Like if a major event happens across the United States, I'm opening up a space, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to commentate on it, and hopefully we're going to pray on it if it's a tragedy. So we ended the last night's space with a prayer. I'm going to end this night's space with a prayer. You can bow your heads if you want, join along, listen in. But Lord Jesus, my King, please give me the grace to get through the rest of the night as I have to keep my eyes open, and study what I'm studying. What I'm seeing and what I'm uncovering really gets to the mind and the soul, and it really puts puts heaviness on my heart. And that's why I share it with the other people, because people need to be exposed to the negativity that's blanketed a lot of our cities and our towns. And that's why we bring up these spaces, because it brings people together, and I hope it brings people more towards you, because that's the end goal here. And when we have a positive direction through you, we know exactly where we're going. And with your grace and your glory, and your strength and your protection, we can get through anything. And that being said, thank you, my King, King Jesus, Yeshua, amen. Everybody have a good night. Do something good for yourselves. Do something good for somebody else. And we'll see you on the next one.
Through Christ our Lord, amen. Thanks, brother.
Hey, we like Jesus over here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This has been an episode of The Geyer Show. Like I said, we've got open spaces on X that we're going to run a lot. I think it's a great way, like I said, to get the community together, rally on something, and join the discussion. If anybody else has anything to put in the comments, we're going to do a promote yourself kind of day. Promote yourself Monday. Every Monday is going to be promote yourself. Small businesses I want to thrive here in Portland, and I'd love your help. I'd love your support. We're a small business over here too, and we bring it truthful with no apologies and no filter. I appreciate everybody who joined the space tonight. Thank you for your comments, your discussion, getting in on the topic. It's been an absolute honor to have people who are very knowledgeable about things that they love and are passionate about, and things that we need to bring up and discuss. You won't find that in a lot of places, but you will find that in the Geyer space. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of The Geyer Show, and we will see you on the next one.
This is The Geyer Show. This is The Geyer Show. On the front lines, up in your face, red light on, and the tape rolls. We don't blink.